Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough! So we're already kind of just powering on through all these Disney worlds. It's great! So we've already done all of the worlds over this side. And we've got we've got 4 worlds that we've already visited to have second visits to. And that's all we have left. Like, I mean, the second half of the game really does just speed you through everything. It's a great kind of rise to a thrilling climax. And it's time for us to return to Agrabah, where, as you can see, Jafar's escaped. Typical. So, as you ever so slightly just heard there, that was Jonathan Freeman reprising his role as Jafar. He's basically done it since the original film, and he's been just glorious all the way through. And what's even better, and it's like so amazingly awesome, is that he actually reprises the role of Jafar in the Broadway production of Aladdin. Which is just like, oh my god, that's amazing! They've actually got Jafar as Jafar! Like, that never happens. Ever.
Sora, don't let him
and
get
it's
away.
Beautiful. Also, Abu, what are you doing?
What's going on? Can't believe it! That stupid peddler let Jafar out of the lamp! Jafar?
Give me the magic lamp, Aladdin. And now, street rats, I bid you farewell. Crush those urchins.
So, yes, as we're saying about Jonathan Freeman, I mean, basically his most famous role is voicing Jafar, and it's basically the main thing that he's done. But what's also really, really cool, I mean, he's been on Broadway a heck of a lot, but what's particularly awesome is that he was actually Cogsworth in the Beauty and the Beast Broadway adaptation. He originated the role of Grimsby, who's Prince Eric's manservant fellow, in the Broadway production of The Little Mermaid, and apparently he also starred as Admiral Boom and the Bank Chairman in the Broadway production of Mary Poppins. So he's just like done so much Disney Broadway, it's beautiful. And I think in terms of other things that you may know him in, so he's Senator Richard Shelby in a TV movie called Too Big to Fail. He did a few voices in American Dragon Jake Long, and he's Rowley Pruitt in Remember When, which I think is a TV show, and then Taito Swing in Shining Time Station, and the TV movie Shining Time Station is a Gift, which came at some point. I don't know, but the main thing that people know him from is Jafar. But also, good grief, he's been in a lot of musicals, a lot of shows. It's insane. It's like he's been in The Producers, 42nd Street, On the Town, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. What were the quite famous ones? Yeah, that's probably about your lot. But oh, he also got he's also the head waiter in She Loves Me, for which he was nominated for a Tony Award for the best performance by a featured actor in a musical. Didn't win it, unfortunately, but Jonathan Freeman is glorious, and I'm so glad that they've managed to keep him on as Jafar and just make use of his insane talents. Now, this trip to the wonderfulness that is Agrabah looks like it's going to be an incredibly long trip here. And while technically, in the case of time-wise, this is going to be a pretty long trip, there is only one reason for that, and that is because I decided I wanted to get all of the chests in the game. So that meant that we have to, well, that means that we've got to go all the way back through the wonderfulness that is the Cave of Wonders. Even though normally we wouldn't have to do this in the game if we just wanted to just continue. Also, that was a very, 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 very dangerous thing that I was doing there. These guys are no pushovers. Also, I'm so glad we have a nice long keyblade now. I love Oathkeeper, don't get me wrong, and there will be one moment when I return to using it. But it's one very, very specific moment. And that is all. No, of course not, Jasmine. Definitely not hiding anything from you at all, anywhere. But yes, I need to really, really, really make sure that I keep looking at my items, because they run out so quickly, because I am a very clumsy and reckless type of fighter in Kingdom Hearts. It's like, in games like Bayonetta, I try my damnedest to avoid getting hit, and I've gotten quite good at that. But when it comes to, you know, Kingdom Hearts, the ability to dodge is very lacking. So you just kind of ramp up damage, and it's just kind of a case of just try and tank your way through, almost. That becomes the primary thing that you've got to do, and it's just like, I will heal when I get the opportunity, and just abuse Cura and the items, because need them. Also, one thing that I've just noticed that the Guardian Soul does during fighting is that when it kind of hits, I mean, at least I'm assuming it is the Guardian Soul, yes, you've got little symbols coming out, some of which look like shuriken of some description, but others which I'm pretty sure are Japanese symbols. They're in kanji. And I'm just going to check to see if there is any kind of proof to what I'm saying here, and whether there's any actual extra information that will actually help illuminate what's going on. I mean, the Guardian Soul is a great keyblade. And also, apparently it is very similar in design to Auron's strongest weapon in Final Fantasy X, the Masamune. And the name references Auron's former occupation as the Guardian for both Yuna and Braska. Now, there doesn't seem to be... oh, okay, basically, the symbols that appear are Yevon symbols, which reference the main plot of Final Fantasy X. But it's kind of ironic that they appear with the Keyblade relating to Auron, because Auron basically goes against the horror that is that, and the whole religion of Yevon. Also, what you saw there was a capsule. We have, I think, run across a few of them before, maybe. But basically, they're a random appearance. The only way that you'll know that they are there is because you'll get a notification at the top of the screen in the ticker tape bar thing. And basically, they give you rare items, generally, if you catch them at the right time. It's really quite cool. But they are quite random.
just gonna have to turn back.
There's gotta be a way.
Ah, come on, kid! That's an easy one! Ow, oh buddy, oh pal! This is what having a genie for a best friend is all about! I mean, how can you leave me on the sidelines at a time like this? Live large! Wow, Mel! From the old razzmatazz. What do you say, kid?
Hey, Genie!
Sora! Want to see a little something I call sandstorm sweep?
Take it away, Genie.
Alakazam! You know, one lousy sandstorm is just too easy.
I'd say it's a very small sand tornado, that. I can see why Genie's disappointed.
Whoa!
How about giving me a challenge next time, eh, Al?
Oh, we'll certainly try and give you a challenge, Genie. It'll be something quite spectacular, I hope. So now, at this point, most normal people would decide, yes, I'm going to go straight to the ruins because that's where the game has directed me to go. However, this is the point where I'm just like, I want those chests, and the only place that I think they can be is in the treasure room that they didn't let me look around the last time I was here. So essentially, the next 10 minutes are backtracking of the worst order, just going through areas that we've already been in, but I mean, thankfully, it is a rather nice little, how shall I say, way of levelling up, basically, because you really aren't given that much time between going to the next area and getting to the boss. It all happens very, very quickly, and you don't fight that many enemies in the grand scheme of things, so if you wanted an extra bit of chance to level and also, you know, get those chests that were denied you in your earlier visit, then the Cave of Wonders is a lovely place to level, apart from the fact that you have to go against the blimmin' fortune teller dancer thingamajiggies. Urgh, hate them. Love the design, but I hate them so much. Also, I should say, kind of, this particular visit to Agrabah is very much in line with the Return of Jafar sequel to Aladdin, where Jafar does indeed escape and cause havoc, basically. I still need to watch it. I mean, I've watched King of Thieves, but I've never watched Return of Jafar. I think the only things that I have seen are 2 of the songs. So there's Forget About Love, which is a song for Iago, which is just great. It's like giving like Gilbert Gottfried a song to sing. It just sounds wonderfully horrendous. It's great. And then there's also Jafar actually getting a proper song, which is called You're Only Second Rate, which is quite cool. It's nowhere near as good as the Prince Ali reprise, because that thing is just wonderfully sinister. Like, anything turning like the hero's song into the villain's song is very, very awesome, especially when it's well done. To be perfectly honest, I actually find the Prince Ali reprise to be more memorable than the original film. Than the original version of the song. And I think it's just because of the Prince Ali, yes it is he, but not as you know him. Such a con need I go on. Take it from me, his personality flaws. Give me adequate cause to send him packing on a one-way trip so his prospects take eternal dip. His assets frozen, the venue chosen is the ends of the earth. Whoopee! So long, ex-Prince Ali! And then you got the crazy evil Jafar laugh, which is, like, impressive. Not many people can do that sort of manic laughter that Jonathan Freeman gets away with there. It's beautiful. Also, you can go through the challenge again, but no, that's not happening. We're just going into the treasure room and getting those damn treasures. I don't want this to last longer than it is absolutely necessary. Now, another thing that I should bring up is that while it doesn't appear in this version of the game, there are kind of two rather huge additions. Well, three huge additions, but two that I will discuss now, because they are slightly relevant. And basically, there are kind of more more boss type things to fight. So, in, I believe it's every single world, there is a member of Mushroom 13, which all have kind of different challenges. They're essentially kind of like the mushrooms in the original Kingdom Hearts. And I believe kind of killing them all gets you awesomeness. Unfortunately, obviously, they're not here, but I mean, the design's really cool. And they are basically just based on the mushroom heartless from the original game. And apparently they drop tranquil materials. And also, some will drop shields for Goofy, some will drop staves for Donald. And fulfilling the highest requirement will reward the player with premium mushroom and limited mushrooms. And unlike the others, the 13th mushroom drops the winner's proof keyblade and a tranquil proof, so they're basically just awesome things that you can get. However, I don't think they turn up until after a certain point in the game, but then they do appear kind of all over the world. I think it's after the visit to the Great Mall. So, when we were in Hollow Bastion, it was that moment where Goofy had been knocked out and we thought he was screwed. Although apparently there's also a thing of they appear and disappear. That I don't know, but they're in Final Mix, and so they will be in 2.5 HD Remix as well. And then the other thing that you get to face in the wonderfulness that is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix are kind of other versions of the nobodies. So Organisation 13. So I can't quite remember what the name for it is called, but I think it's like the replica data. There's replicas of the boss fights of all of the organisation members, including ones who were offed during Chain of Memories. And it's pretty cool. I think there are quite a lot of incredibly challenging battles. But it's another extra thing that they added to make it a much more compelling experience. To be perfectly honest, like, up until the point where 1.5 HD Remix and 2.5 HD Remix were being, well, were/are released, like, the West got a really rough end of the stick with pretty much everything related to Kingdom Hearts, because although we got the improved version of Kingdom Hearts 1, and we got extra new boss fights, then Final Mix happened in Japan, and then they got extra boss fights and extra things on top of that. And the same happened with Kingdom Hearts 2, and the same happened with Birth by Sleep. And yeah, we just got screwed out of things, basically. So I hope that when Kingdom Hearts 3 turns around, they actually kind of, you know, have one full, solid version of the game that's equalled, so that we don't get screwed over again. So, here we have a wonderful thing where we get to fly on carpet, and it's wonderful. and we have to kill Heartless and basically chase after the damn illusion of Jafar. Now, controlling the carpet's not as bad as it could be. I'm forgetting right now exactly how you do control it, because it's been a very, very long time since I've played the game. But I seem to recall it being pretty easy to get the hang of, and I believe it may be superior to the swimming controls in Atlantica as they were in the original Kingdom Hearts. And also, you generally end up doing a lot of air combos, so if you've got like the air stuff attached, works wonders. So, the Jafar shadow has reappeared, so it's time to chase him down. And you have got to chase him and follow him. If you lose him, then I think you have to start all over again, which is just wonderful. Well, I do think that at one point I do lose sight of Jafar's shadow here. I mean, it's not particularly challenging to follow him, but it's because this area is huge and there is a lot of stuff blocking your view. So there is always the possibility of losing sight of him. However, once he gets to this bit, basically you know that you're on your path to kind of getting to near the end of the chase, basically. And basically, yeah, if we just get up to the top of this tower thing, then we are going to be engaged in a fight, and then it's basically onwards to the final challenge. Well, final challenge in a bit, and then it's the boss fight with Jafar, if you hadn't guessed that that's what we were heading towards. So, yeah, so I basically ended up wasting a lot of time in the early part of my visit to Agrabah this time round. But, I mean, extra levels, getting those chests, all in the name of good work and completionism. And I have to say, I love completing things because it's just like, yes, you just look at it and you're just like, it just looks so nice and complete, it's wonderful. Although having said that, completing Jiminy's journal is just like, it's like a no. It's not worth my time in the slightest, and I doubt I will ever do it, because just no. Some of the stuff it requires you to do is just so tedious, just can't be bothered. I'd rather play through the entirety of the game again. And yeah. But that's done, it's time to continue on with our wonderful search for finding out what the hell's happened to Jafar here.